Shalom everybody and welcome back to Insights in the Parsha of the Week, Parshat Mishpatim, which is also Shabbat Shekalim, the Shabbat before Rosh Chodesh Adar, the month of Adar. This Shabbat concludes this year, at least, because it's not a leap year, the 6 weeks of Shovevim. Shovevim started at Shmot, went into Va'era, Bo, Beshalach, Yitro, Mishpatim. Now some say Mishpatim as laws of like the death penalty laws. So on one hand, it seems like a parsha of like judgments on the week of judgments, but it's also shkalim. And about the shkalim, it says in the Midrash on the Megillat Esther that when Haman proposed to Achashverosh, let me please do away, give me permission to do away with the Jewish people. Ve'aseret shkalim kikar kesef eshkol lebet ginzei hamelech, and I will give 10,000 shkalim coins as a donation to the king's treasuries. So the Midrash says that when he said that, a heavenly voice proclaimed, Rasha, kvar kidmu shiklehem lishkalecha. You wicked person, the Jewish people's shekel coin has already preceded your shkalim. You want to, with your shkalim, your 10,000 shkalim, to nullify the power of the shekel coin, which this is Rav Noson explains it like this, which went towards the Beit HaMikdash. And what specifically did the shkalim go to? There were a few charities. The main one went to purchase what's needed for the daily functioning of the temple, which was the 2 korbanot, the daily sacrifices, which had to come from the general populace. That means the half shekel coin given by the Jewish people, that money, part of it went towards purchasing the daily sacrifices, including the Ketoret. The Ketoret was also purchased, the menorah lamp, oil, but mainly it was the Ketoret and the sacrifices that were purchased by this money. And these items, Rav Noson writes, promote joy. Like the verse says, Shemen u'Ketoret yesamach lev, the Ketoret and the oil of the menorah, they bring joy to the heart, to the Shechina, which is called the heart of Israel. And it goes without saying that the korbanot, which are coming to atone and rectify, for sure bring joy with them. So the heavenly voice said, it's too late, Haman. You wanna wipe out and nullify the power of the shkalim of the Jewish people? Too late, impossible. Because their shkalim that they gave during the first temple, the second temple, in the Mishkan, in Shiloh, and all the places between Nov, etc., all the places that the temple stopped until it was finally consecrated in Yerushalayim, all that added up and can never be taken away. It's eternal, especially that it promotes such a high level of simcha above and below, so that can be never nullified. The power of simcha and the mitzvah that it generates. So going back, this Shabbat, on one hand, it's Mishpatim, which seems difficult, but on the other hand, it's a time of immense joy that the Shkalim were arousing already before the month of Adar, the power of the Shkalim, which is the power of Simcha. So really, we have a lot to be happy about in life, and when you take a look at it, when you look at everything you do that connects you to Hashem, it's enough to bring you joy for eternity. That's how powerful it is. So B'ezrat Hashem, we are now ready to face the joy, the miracles of Adar, and the upbeat attitude of the month of Adar with all this preparation that we went through in these 6 weeks of Shovevim. With that said, this week's parsha, like we said, has many laws, many details. Okay? There's only so much we can do as human beings. We'd like today to go into the laws of Shomer Sachar. The Torah in this week's parsha elaborates of 4 types of people who watch an item. One guy, he watches an item for free. One is being paid to watch it. One borrows the item, okay? And the fourth, Shomer Sachar, Shomer Chinam, Shoel. And the fourth one, believe it or not, I forgot. I'm sorry. There's only so much I can have in my head at one time. But in any event, Shoel, Shomer Sachar, Shomer Chinam. You remember the fourth one?
Rent.
You're right, Maskir, thank you. The one who rents. So we're going to go into the first one, the Shomer Chinam. Shomer Chinam, okay, it says like this. If now the person guarding the item tells the person, I'm sorry, but your jar that you gave me, the jug you gave me, the vase you gave me to watch over, it was stolen. Okay, so there's a law that if now he doesn't believe him, he senses, or it's also modeh b'miktzat, he admits that he did use it a little bit, or did take some of whatever. It was like, for example, a sum of money. So there's what's called a shvu'ah. He has to make an oath that he didn't touch the item, and he goes scot-free. However, if witnesses come to confess, wait a second, what do you mean you swear that you didn't touch it? We saw you using that item. We saw you taking it. It's by you. What are you lying and saying it was stolen? So if now edim, witnesses, come to lahachish, to retort and deny what he's saying, so then he has to pay what's called kefel. The item that he claims was stolen, he has to pay for it, but double. So if it was a value 100, he has to pay 200. Okay. Now it's an interesting law. What if the owner took him to court and he didn't swear yet? He came to court and he says it's a lie. I didn't steal it. I didn't take it. And then the witnesses came before he even swore. He didn't swear. He didn't take an oath. He didn't swear yet. The witnesses came and they say, wait a second, it's by you. And they see that it is by him. So he's not obligated to pay the double amount. Why? Only if he swore, he did a shvu'ah. Only then, if the witnesses come after that he took the oath and he swore, then he's punished that he has to pay double of what he claimed was stolen. But if he didn't do a shvu'ah yet, and witnesses came in court in front of the Beit Din, and he said, wait a second, we see that he has it and everything, and they clarified the testimony and they see that it's true, he pays only once. He doesn't pay double. Okay? It's an amazing law. You should be punished. You're lying. But the punishment is only if he takes a shvu'ah. Let us take a look in Rashi on this verse, in this area of the Torah. We're talking about chapter Shmot, chapter 22, verses 6, 7, 8, and we'll go into Rashi on verse number 8. Okay, so we'll just read quickly. If a man gives to his fellow Jew money or vessels to watch over, and they were stolen from the house of the man, if they find the thief, the robber, he has to pay double of what he stole. And if they can't find the thief, so here it's called the owner, the balabait, the master of the house, which Rashi says means the guy himself, the shomer, the guy who was guarding. He has to go to El Elohim, to the court. We call the court Elohim, the Lord. And he has to swear. He has to say Imlo shalach yado bimlechet re'ehu. Okay, that he did not touch the working of his fellow Jew. Okay, and then the Torah elaborates, verse number 8. Al kol dvar pesha, al shor, al chamor, al se, al salma, al kol aveda, asher mar ki hu zeh, ad Elohim yavo dvar shneim. On any item, and if there's a pesha, in other words that he's lying, if it's doesn't matter if it's a bull, if it's a donkey, if it's a sheep, if it's a garment, anything that's lost, and he says this is it. In other words, I didn't steal it. Ad Elohim yavo dvar shneim, until the Lord yavo shneim. Asher yeshun Elohim yishalem shnayim lever. Whoever now is guilty has to pay double. So Rashi here is amazing. He wants to say a few things. Rashi. Yishalem shnayim lever. This is now the verse number 8. That if now he's caught and he swore, and there's the witnesses that say that he's lying, so he has to pay double. If the verse is teaching us that someone who was guarding the item it was a protected item that he was supposed to guard, and he says it was stolen from me, and it's that he himself stole it, mishalem tashlume kefel, he has to pay double. Ve'ematai, but when does he pay double? Bizman shenishba, only when, like we said earlier, if he swore, he took an oath, he swore. And afterwards the witnesses came. Because this is the way the rabbis and the sages in the Gemara explain the halacha of this law. When it says in the earlier verse, and the owner of the house owner, the homeowner, should come close to the Lord What a term. And he should come close to the Lord. So you understand that means he comes to court. Say, kriva zo shvu'ah. When it says that he should come close, it means that he should make an oath. Ata omer l'shvu'ah o eno ela ladin. So they ask, 1 second, you say that he should take an oath. Maybe no, it means simply that they come to court. Shekevan sheba ladin v'kafar lomar nigneva. Like we said, that now, so much as that he came to the court to be judged, and he denied, and he said that it was stolen. At that point that he said it was stolen, even before taking an oath, swearing, miyad yitchayev bekefel im ba'u edim shu biyado. Immediately, now he's liable to pay double if at that point the witnesses came and say, no, it's you have it, you're the one who stole it. So he said, so Rashi goes on to show from the laws of the next type of guard, the Shomer Sachar, the one who gets paid for guarding. So from a word that appears there, well, let's look at it inside because it might help us in the idea that we're going to develop. Ne'emar kan shlichut yed. It says here that he didn't touch it with his hands. It said in the verse before, shelo shalach yado b'mlechet re'eu. You see in verse number 7, so he has to swear. The guard has to swear im lo shalach yado b'mlechet re'eu, that he didn't send his hands to touch the workmanship, the working of his fellow Jew. In other words, the item that he's supposed to guard. So it says here the word hand, yad, okay? And it says also coming up in the next set of laws of the Shomer Sachar, also hand, okay? Right? The verse reads there. There has to be a swearing also. He also has to swear. There should be a swearing to God that there should be between both of them that he did not touch the item, because he's also saying it was stolen. Malahalan shvu'ah. So just as we know there it's a shvu'ah, it's an oath, here also we learn it's a shvu'ah. Okay? So there's a lot of amazing things here, right? This law, only if he swears, takes a shvu'ah, only then does he have, and if the adim, the witnesses come after that point, only then he has to pay double. Okay? Before that, he doesn't pay double. He just gives back the item that was stolen. What's going on here? What's the idea here? So, the idea of a person who would swear falsely, it's very severe. You're swearing on the name of God. You're swearing on God that you didn't touch this item. You have and then you're caught lying. How far have you gone, mister? You're willing to lie for the sake of a worldly matter, because you're jealous, you have envy, you want the item, you covet your friend's item and you want to steal it. So you're willing to make a shvu'ah sheker. So this is very bad. When a person takes an oath, Rav Noson says the idea of a neder, an oath, and also shvu'ah, swearing, are both similar in that when a person takes an oath or swears, he's lifting himself up to the beginning point of the creation. In other words, to the Keter. In the Kabbalah it's called the Keter. He's going up to the beginning point of all of creation. Above the Torah. The root of the Torah is going above. This is scary. Because you're swearing on what? You're swearing on the beginning point of creation, on God, and His beginning of revelation into this world. That's what you're swearing upon. And that person is swearing falsely. What in the world? What leads you to that attitude? So the word shvu'ah is made up really of two smaller compartments. You have the number Sheva, Shin Bet Ayin, and Vav He, which are technically Vav Ke from Hashem's name, Yud Ke Vav Ke. Vav and He add up, 6 and 5 add up to 11. This is referring to the power of the fragrance of the 11 fragrances of the Ketoret. The Ketoret, Rabbi Nachman teaches in Likutey Moharan Lesson 24, have the power to activate joy. Okay? When a person has joy, he doesn't covet what other people have. He doesn't look at what other people have. He's so happy with his portion. Someone who's wealthy is someone who's happy with his portion. But someone now who covets some what other people have, it's in a sense a blemish of the power of the Ketoret. The Ketoret comes to bring joy to a person. Rabbi Nachman teaches based on the Kabbalah. The Ketoret has the power to smash the evil domain and extract what's rightfully mine that's trapped there, And that's through simcha, because it brings simcha. The simcha is the power that subdues all evil and extracts whatever was stolen from me, whether in this reincarnation, whether from previous reincarnations, whether by people, whether by angels, whether by evil forces, whatever, to have it all returned to me is through simcha. Now, a person who covets someone else to the degree that he's willing to take an oath, a vow, a shvu'ah, an oath to swear on the name of Hashem, on God Himself, it's very severe, and to do it falsely, because afterwards he's caught that he's falsely. That shows that this person is really, really not happy in life. If he was truly happy, what do you care about the other guy's stuff? Hashem has given you everything you need in life. You should be dancing on the zchut, the merit you have to say Modeh Ani in the morning, to wash your hands in the morning, to put on tefillin every day, to keep Shabbat, to say brachot. And Hashem values every good thing you do is eternal. It's an eternal gain forever, can never be erased. You should be the happiest person in the world. Instead, you covet, he has this, he has that, he has the money, and he gives it by you to watch, and then you steal it, and you're willing to swear falsely. Okay, that Vav Hey is 11. Sheva, Rav Noson explains, the number 7 are the 7 wisdoms. In this world, there are 7 wisdoms. Now, the philosophers, they use the 7 wisdoms, called Sheva Chochmot. One is called, I think, mathematics, geometry. There's like 7 wisdoms, rhetoric. I forgot the exact list. They said by Rav Noson that even before he came to Rav Nachman, he was an expert in the 7 wisdoms. But by the Goyim, the secular Goyim, the heretical Goyim, that they take the wisdom for physical pleasure purposes. So it's all like distorted. So shvu'ah, someone who takes an oath, he has to be very careful that he's clean, that it's not coming out of chas shalom, that he has ulterior motives and purposes for using the 7 wisdoms of the world, and also not a blemish of his simcha, which is the number 11, vav hey. Okay, so someone who does a shvu'ah, like we said, he's basically reconnecting to the Keter. Okay, so he's lifting himself up with his words. I did not steal this item. Okay, so now he did a shvu'ah on that, but it was all false, because the witnesses come and they testify, wait a second, he's lying, and they prove that he's lying. They also testify. So then he's punished for taking a false vow, and only then is he punished to pay back what he stole, plus double. Now, why double? Double is because when he's swearing falsely, it's as if he's lifting himself up with the item that he's swearing on. He's testifying on that he didn't steal it. He's lifting it up all the way up to the Keter, and then comes back down. The Keter, if we take by a numbering system procedure, so it's the number 10. From the lowest sphira, Malchut, up to the Keter, there's 10 sphirot. So when taking the oath, it's as if the person is going up with the item to the Keter, saying, I testify that I did not steal it. And then he comes back down. So it's 10 plus 10, which is 20. Which is why the word for double, kefel, begins with the letter kaf, because we have this rule in the Kabbalah. Every word, the first letter of that word contains an embodiment of the characteristics of that word. So kaf is keter, basically. Okay? Kaf, keter also starts with a kaf, and kefel starts with a kaf. So the doubling is that he's punished paying double because he uselessly lifted up the item falsely to testify, going up all the way to the Keter, making a shvu'ah, and then coming back down. This is also why there's 2 witnesses, not one. The one witness is the word ed, witness, can also be read as ad, until. You're lifting up, the first witness is lifting up his testimony against the guy who's falsely swearing. It's ad to the Keter, and then the second one brings it down. There's 2 witnesses to do the job of up and down also. So what's amazing is, as you know, Rashi pointed out that the verse reads, "V'nikrav balabait el Elokim," and he should come close. The balabait means the one now who we're trying to say that he now, by stealing the item, he's now called the owner of the item because he really stole it, and that's the case that the Torah is talking about. So v'nikrav balabait el Elokim, which means he should come close to the Lord. Literally, v'nikrav balabait el Elokim. In our context, that's exactly what's happening when a shvu'ah takes place. When a person makes a shvu'ah, he's actually technically coming closer to the Lord, to the Keter, which is the beginning point of Hashem's infinite light. So he is Vinikra, because it's a funny wording. Why not just say it explicitly? And he takes an oath. The Torah has to hide it and dress it up in different wording to also teach us 5 million other things. One of them is this item that he's actually, by taking a shvu'ah, it's super dangerous. If he's false, oy vavoy. So, because what's happening with the shvu'ah, you're coming now closer. And if you're not supposed to be here, because you're doing a false testament, a false oath, you're swearing falsely, it's dangerous now. It's gonna be very punishable. It's very bad for you. In this case, he's punished on the physical realm, besides the punishment for making a false oath, which is between him and God. He now, monetary wise, because of the other Jew, he has to pay him kefel, the double. So this is the idea that we see in the Shomer Chinam situation, and the damage done by coveting, and a person is willing to go all the way to swear falsely because I guess or he doesn't fear Hashem that much, or his coveting of what other people have is so strong that he's even willing to swear falsely. But the power of the shvu'ah is that powerful that it lifts a person up, and then when witnesses come, so the punishment is for doing that lifting up to the Keter in vain, not for a real reason, and out of a false swearing. So it's punishable by the kefel. Bezat Hashem, we should learn from this to be careful, to be happy with our portion, not to covet what other people have, not to desire what other people have. It's very damaging, and we should train ourselves to be extremely happy with what Hashem sends us. And you can only appreciate that if you're happy with yourself. You value yourself. You value your good point. You value that Hashem values you because you have a value, and not like sometimes you think, I'm a low life, I'm a nobody, why should Hashem care about me? It's just the opposite. Hashem loves you, and He wants you to learn how to love yourself and to value your good points. Not holiness, chas v'shalom, but at least to value your good points so that when you're so low, you can get yourself back up by being positive and happy about yourself. Shabbat Shalom, Vorach.